Alrighty, good morning everybody. It is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. Let's go ahead and zoom on back to yesterday and take a look at what happened. If you guys recall, yesterday we were talking about our first nice little sign for a potential bounce, right? It wasn't necessarily a clue for a major reversal all the way back to the all-time highs, but it was a clue that the bulls may go ahead and try to pop this a little bit. So that's kind of what we were talking about as the market was about to open there. And then as you can see here, out of the open, holds the back end of the VWAP there, starts its merry way down, holding the back end of the fast moving average the whole way, and then comes down, and what do you know, the low of the morning was our roadmap level within just a couple ticks, right? So came right on down, and if you look in the overnight session, what were they holding on the upside here? The roadmap level up top. So overnight session holding the major roadmap level up top, structure zone. We get a pullback from there, holds the back end of the VWAP, market opens. They bring it right down to the support area, and then we get that bullish bounce that I was speaking about, right? So the bullish bounce began right off that roadmap level. From there, we can see some incredible opportunities all morning for the bullish side there. On the way up, you could even have tried a fade right off of the holy orange power level. And what you would have gotten was a nice pullback right to the 200. Right? I feel like it's like every morning I just say the same thing. Pulls back, holds the 200, advances up to the next roadmap level, holds it to the tick, pulls back off of there, comes right back to the VWAP to try and peak above, and we get a failure. But on the pullback there, as you can see, it holds the hopeful and the VWAP, holds the VWAP to the tick, goes through the hopeful by just a couple ticks. So a pullback, you could have faded the hopeful and got a nice little scalp to the first target, which would have been the 200. And you could have tried along off the top end of the hopeful and captured this nice sexy bounce, right? So you could have tried along the first test, again not going through by very much, but on that second test, that was the money maker that brought us right to the next roadmap level where the market found trouble and pulled back again. Then on that pullback, what do we hold? The very roadmap level that led to the big pullback here earlier on. And we found support from that roadmap level and tried to go ahead and push higher. And on that bounce, you guys got some great opportunities to go ahead and take that 200. Again, with very limited risk on the way up here, and missed it there by 1 or 2 ticks on that test. And let's go ahead and zoom this back. Then we got a nice little healthy in-breath, right? So the market started to get a pullback. Not too surprising, as we were testing up into that next roadmap structure area up top in there. Pulled back. There's the crossover. There's price starting to break lower. There's the break of the VWAP. And there is the first test of the 200 once again for a beautiful opportunity from 58 to 48 for a nice 10-point trade. Where to? Right to the holy orange power level where it bounces to the tick. Again, maybe a long opportunity there for another, what is that? Almost 20 points to the upside, right? So again, a whole bunch of beautiful opportunities yesterday to get in with limited risk and try for some pretty decent pushes. And then you can see on the way up here, as the market was bouncing, as I warned you guys, made sense coming into the open. Notice what happened. They pulled back, they held the hopeful, and then tried to go ahead and push higher and push to a slightly higher high at the end of the day. So that's how it all crumbled yesterday. You even got an opportunity there, 1 tick in front of the close of the day before, to get in right in that last hour of the extended trading. So pretty good stuff if you ask me. Did it hold the 200 every time we tested it? No, nothing works every time when you're trading. The level's not going to work every time. We just know that these areas are areas where we could put limited risk on for potential of a pretty decent trade. So now coming into the overnight session here, as you can see, a lot of trouble up around the close of the day before there. So when the market opened last night, let's zoom it in here. When it was open last night, it pulled, well, it did hold the fast moving average to come out, our roadmap level there actually, right? Bounced out, but just not enough strength to get to that previous daily high. And then what happens? We get the hold off the back end of the VWAP and the close of the day before to the tick, one of our roadmap levels, which then led to a pretty healthy sell-off, right? So on that sell-off last night, well, there wasn't a crossover just yet, but there's the tag of the 200 as we're failing down. There's a hold off the back end of the fast moving average. Here's some more holds. Basically, for all intents and purposes, holding the back end of that roadmap level, right? So it came down, bounced twice off of it, got below it, and then that became our resistance. And you even got a little miniature head and shoulders there, if you will. And that pushed the market lower. Again, finding a little bit of trouble right at the next major roadmap level, 50% of the day before, very critical area in the chart. But the strength was obviously or the weakness, there was a lot of weakness in the market, bringing it lower. And that's where we found the low of the overnight session here, where it bounced one tick in front of our major structure level right there. And now as we come into the open, as you can see, strong aggressive move higher here, holding the fast moving average the whole way up, only to start getting weakness right at our roadmap level. So pretty impressive stuff if you ask me. Again, these levels don't work every time the market comes into them, right? But we know that when they do work, they work with a very limited amount of risk. And that's how I trade. I keep my risk low and I accept my losses, and when my trades run, I make my money. So that's basically it for our review here coming into the open. And as you can see, might not hold, but tagging right off the back end of VWAP here as I speak for this little micro pullback we're in right now. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames, and we'll see what they have to say for this morning.